What's up, Internet? Look at me. I say I'm gonna do something again soon, and here I am, 1 week later with the second episode of Astro Robo Sasa versus the Evil Blue Pancakes of Doom. Episode 2. Or some bollocks, I don't know. I was really planning on doing this like a month later, not a week later, but I can't sleep, I'm not feeling well, so I'm now up and I need to do something. So, let's get into some more Blue Destiny. And it's important that this game is titled Blue Destiny because unlike the first one, we actually get to pilot a Blue Destiny. But instead of some kick-ass Gundam that gives us non-new types, new type powers, instead we get a kick-ass Gundam that gives us non-new types, new type powers, but also has a Jim's head for whatever reason. I don't know either. I think this is specifically the same one that we fought in the second level of the previous game that wouldn't kill me. And I'm still bitter about that. We're going to skip the briefing. And look at that. We have a mini-map now. But beyond that, it's pretty much the same because we're still in a gym. And it's basically still just shooting Zaku's. But to be fair, we're not in the Blue Destiny yet. And once we are, we're very little changes. It's a little better, but same basic machine. Just does a lot more damage. Also, it gets a new mode that can instant kill you if you take too long. But I'm not sure if this is a mission that's defensive or not. I think this is like the closest thing to a defensive mission you get in this one, because you have to like go rescue oh crap, I can't even remember what, Medea, that's it. I was like, oh, what are those transports? Shit. I've spent too long away from classic Gundam watching Double Zeta and then stopped, and now I want to watch Gundam Wing again. Because Gundam Wing was good. So what's been going on with you? I just spent the past 2 hours outside in the cold winter air because it's Canada, and Canada only gets like 2 months of non-winter, and I was out photographing an eclipse, and now I'm sick because it's cold and crappy. It was cloudy, so I didn't get many good pictures, so that sucks. But now I'm sick, and it's cold and it's crappy, and that was the past 2 hours of my life. I'm currently sitting on like 3 water bottles right now because I'm just so cold, and my legs are probably going to bump into the table and wreck the audio, and I'm just going to hate myself for this. So that's fun. What else has been going on? I got 2 more import Saturn games. I got, the first one makes me appreciate this game a hell of a lot more, because it's basically like this, like it's a MechWarrior style game. It's called Gun Griffin, except the controls are just completely naff. Like, this game has a sensible control scheme for the most part. Like, you know, you move around with the directional pad, you attack, it makes sense. Gun Griffin, if you want to move forward or back, you have to use the face buttons. That just doesn't make sense. Like, it's just incredibly awkward. I mean, it looks like it blows MechWarrior 2 on the Saturn out of the water, although it's been years since I played it, but the controls are just really bafflingly strange. The other is a really not great fighting game. Like, it's not bad, but it's just really not wildly interesting, and I think it doesn't quite deliver on its promise that the title screen would imply. And it's kind of a shame, and I'm kind of thinking about doing a review on it, and I kind of have a plan for it, but I'm not sure if I like how that would turn out or not, so I'm just kind of sitting on the idea right now. I just put out the video for Robo Trek on the Super Nintendo. That game took me forever to find, but it's a good one. What else? What else have I been up to? Bought a couple really dirt cheap, like, pennies, dirt cheap, Super Famicom games. I'm a little bit worried about 2 of them, though, because one is an RPG, and the other is edutainment. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I'm kind of interested. That's really it. It's mostly just been a weird... I'm just gonna completely brain fart on proper words. Thanks, brain. Just been a standard work week for me. You know, record videos, spend stupid amounts of time editing them, throw them out, and then redo them because I'm not happy with it, and be disappointed in the end result anyway. But, yeah. Standard work week. And that's the last time we will ever see our crappy gym. Because... oh, we can't skip this. Now we have to fight this guy. I think. I don't know, it's been like 3 weeks since I had to play this game. Come on. I wish I could skip this. I definitely like when you can skip cutscenes. That's definitely a big thing. Okay. Now, because we had a mission in front of this, I'm not going to test whether or not he can kill us. We'll do that later, though, because we have to fight this guy again. And it could certainly be a case of not letting us win. Or lose, rather. I'm tired, and I'm not feeling well. Cut me some slack. Finished off a review for a fairly obscure N64 game that I'm quite fond of, so I'm excited that that's done. Gonna start work pretty quick on Blue Destiny 1 review, because I might as well use the footage. There we go, I can skip that. Yay! Mission complete. I should read my data and should call me an ace this time. Unless the system's weird. Probably possible. Nope, ace pilot. And I'm the rank of something or other. Skip. And now we finally get introduced to the first Blue Destiny unit, which looks slightly different but is basically the same. And if I recall correctly, we have to basically ignore the mobile suits for the moment and just start destroying ground defenses. Because we have to protect some stuff or something. Like there's some aerial troops that come by, and I'm not sure if I have to or not, but I think you gotta destroy a lot of ground units. But I don't really feel like destroying a bunch of ground units right now. Oh, that's one massive difference. Our gun has changed. Instead of grenades, we now get a rocket launcher that is basically still the grenades. But they move slightly faster, and I think they do more damage. But aside from that, they're basically the same. And these are the Zagoks, I believe? Which makes me wonder what those guys are. I don't know. The amphibious units always messed me up. I've been spending a lot of time the past week just trying to get through a Saturn Japanese RPG. And it's a pretty solid one, but it's kind of tricky because it's like a dungeon crawler with a bunch of really tricky puzzles and stuff. So if you don't know what you're doing and you can't get the hints, it's really tricky. Like, level 2, it had this puzzle I was stuck on for about 40 minutes, where there was this chasm in front of you, and you couldn't cross it. On the other side of the chasm was a teleporter, and you just had to try and figure out what was going on. And basically what you had to do was activate the teleporter, run to the chasm, chuck something across the chasm, hope it went in the teleporter, so it got teleported onto a button that closes the pit. That's just insane. Like, there are some really, really clever puzzles, but at the same time you feel really dumb when you can't figure them out. Come on. Just blow up, you stupid. I'm in a slightly better mobile suit than last time, although it's basically not much better. That's the nice thing about this game. There really isn't any defense missions unlike the last one. Also, they don't reuse the same map twice. That's also a big plus. Although I still say the third one is the best. But this one's not too bad. I hear this is the rarest one. I think I mentioned that before, but from what I can tell online, this one tends to go for about $10 more than the rest. Although you could get all three in like the box set for the price of one, so that's kind of moot. And you get like a bonus artwork disc. Although you don't get individual cases or packaging. Like you get a box to hold all three and you get the manuals, but the individual cases do not have like manual art or anything, which is weird. I don't think this game, aside from the blue guy that we fought like 10 seconds ago, I don't think this game adds any new enemy models. I know the third one does, but I don't think this one does. It's mainly just taking what was already established and giving you a slightly better mobile suit. And I'm out of missiles and I just realized it now. I think there's supposed to be like aerial guys flying through, but maybe they all got shot down, I don't know. One thing I do like about this game is it does have one mission that isn't just destroy all the mobile suits. And I want to say that's the next mission, so that's a fun one. That's probably the highlight of this game. But it's more of the same. But unlike Gundam, doesn't have a stupid control scheme. Although I am still trying to play that. That just has a weird ass control scheme. And I know I'm rehashing that, but it's just really dumb. Ah, more of these guys. What? Ah, got knocked down. You know, that reminds me of a old mech game I used to play on, like, DOS, called Earth Siege, where you'd run into, like, these little spiders that would run onto your mech and explode, and they would just shoot out the legs of your robot, and then there was, like, a 50-50 chance you'd either land on your front or your back. And if you landed on your back, you basically had to just stare up at the sky and watch as other mechs basically stomped you to death. That was not a very nice game. That game didn't want to be your friend. And it had some, like... Aw, crap. I walked outside the mission parameter area. Great. Fantastic. Oh well. I got to fail a mission. I'm allowed one, I'm not feeling well, leave me alone. What else is going on? Not too much. I'm still bitter over the fact Mighty Number 9 got pushed. I was really excited about that too. And I think it happened because, like, multiplayer stuff too, which is like, I don't care. Just give me my awesome Mega Man game. Also, there's like a Mega Man collection that I think is actually out right now, and I just don't care. Not just because it's only Mega Man 1 through 6, and like 7 is my favorite, and I know I'm weird like that, but I really like Mega Man 7. But I have the same problem with Rare Replay. It's just people trying to rehash their past glory rather than trying to do anything new. And like, I see the point in doing that for people who are fans of nostalgia, as well as like the new generation who might not know anything about these titles. Like, that's a valuable service, but at the same time, I'd rather see you try and do something new rather than simply trying to push what you've already pushed many times before. Also, you didn't include Mega Man 7, and that pisses me off. Although if they did, they'd probably have the same edited version of Mega Man 7 that was on the Anniversary Collection, where Bass no longer says damn, and I just realized I called him Bass, and I'm way too tired. Although, to be fair, I thought his name was pronounced Bass when I was a kid, too. Because I'd never heard of the musical term. Also, I'm not a very musical person, so that doesn't help, I guess. But, yeah, Bass, he said damn in the original Super Nintendo version. They cut that in the re-release. They also, cut the credit sequence where Mega Man was walking away from Wily's Fortress with Mode 7. Which sucks. Also, Mega Man 7. That had like the hardest Wily machine, like that teleporting thing. I mean, it was so hard they basically reused it in every Mega Man after it. I think his weakness was those stupid, like, slinkies from Slinky Man. As much as I hate Spring Man, I have to at least give him credit. He had Astro Man in his stage to hint at Mega Man 8. That was kind of neat. I like that. I like that it also had, like, the extra Robot Masters hidden from the Robot Museum that would show up in Mega Man 8, provided you actually played, like, the good version on the Saturn, that were completely removed from the PS1 version. But, I gotta watch those boundaries. I'm really scared about going outside the mission borders this time. I don't want to do that. That sucks. If I recall, Mega Man X 1 through 3 also had X say damn at some point as well. I know he did at the end of X3 when, like at the very tail end when he beat Sigma and was just running away. Also, Sigma in Mega Man X3 is like the cheapest Mega Man boss ever. His hitbox was like 11 pixels. And unless you had like the Z-Saber, he was basically impossible to hit. I hate that boss so much. That boss was such bullshit. Oh, I remember X3. That was the first time you could ever play as Zero, and it was the last time they ever used the awesome Super Nintendo sprites, so it was the last time Zero looked remotely good. I never got that Mega Man Zero redesign. I thought it looked lame and weak compared to like the Super Nintendo X sprites. But, Toxic Seahorse. I remember. That was the first time I ever killed Zero off. I jumped off into a pit just full of spikes into the next screen I didn't see coming. That was fun. I don't know why, but I like all the weird Mega Man titles a lot. Like, I like Mega Man 7 a lot. I like Mega Man X2 a lot. Like, X1's good, but X2, I think, just out of nostalgia's sake, because I played it so much more than the others, I like a lot. I don't really care for... I always stand by, on the same note, I always stand on the fact that Mega Man cannot make a good game with the number 4 in the title. Like, Mega Man 4 had the worst Robot Masters, unless you count, like, that fan-made Mega Man 4 minus Infinity, which was amazing. I'd love to see a cartridge for that, because I want to play it so bad, but I've seen playthroughs of it, and it looks awesome. Mega Man X4 had the worst Robot Masters. In fact, they reuse a Mega Man Classic boss. They reuse Slash Man. And it's a shame, because, like, that's the one where Zero's first fully playable. It's just like, it looks awful, the Robot Masters are terrible, the voice acting is just atrocious. Why did anyone think this game would be a good game? I don't know. But, X4 was bad. Battle Network 4 was really incredibly horrible. Like, instead of actually having, like, one good-sized story mode, they decided, nope, instead we're gonna have, like, 4 3-hour-long campaigns you have to, like, run through 3 times each. And it's like, yeah, but I prefer the full-size story of Battle Network 3. Also, they decided to remove half the customization by taking away the style change system, and I love that system. That's why Battle Network 3 was the best one. It had the customization of the Navi Cust introduced in 3, as well as every other game after that, but it also had the... There we go. Skip. It also had the bonus of still retaining the styles. It also had Shadow Style if you played the blue version, which... That was the best one. You charge your buster and suddenly you're invisible. You could pull off some really dirty stuff with that. I love that. Also, it introduced all the different grades of chips. That's a nice shot. But, that one, I'm just gonna sound slightly more legible. Okay. That little ticker in the corner, that's how much time we have before we game over. So we're just gonna go after the main targets. Because if we game over, because we run out of new type power or whatever. I believe there's also some story going on about how the system that's currently talking to us is the soul of some girl who was a new type experiment or something, and her soul is trapped in this system. So we have to destroy all the Blue Destinies. Except I don't want to. Also, no. It's the only one on Earth, the others all out in the space, and we don't get out into space until the next game. Now we have to fight this thing, which is like the Gallop in the last game, except this one you actually have to kill. The Gallop is a bonus objective. Actually, there's a main objective, but you have to treat it like a bonus objective, which is weird. I don't think I'm going to make it through Zeta, or Double Zeta. I can't do it. It's just not good. Where's the last targets? Back that way. But this level's neat, because you don't have to go out and kill all the mobile suits. So it's a little bit different. I appreciate that. I appreciate the variance in gameplay, no matter how slight. And I was going to talk more about Battle Network 3, but I can't remember what I wanted to say. Something about it having like the most strategy, having the lengthiest campaign. Also, Delta Ray Edge. It had the Delta Ray Edge, which was my favorite battle chip of all time. Skip. So, Battle Network 3. Go get that game. That game's awesome. I think it got released on the Wii U, which is nice. Get the blue version. Blue version had a bonus boss that you couldn't get anything for, but it was the better game. Although it had a really stupid boss with Bowling Man, or whatever his name was. Pinhead Man. Explosions! Now we have to go play... What's our next mission? Skip. Oh yeah, it's another base defense mission, except I don't have to defend anything. I can literally destroy everything, and indeed have in the past. So I get to fight Doms. Also, we don't get new type powers anymore. I think we do in the last mission, but I'm not sure how effective that is. But, I don't know. I like the third game in this series, just because it tries to do more different things, despite the fact that it still has defense missions, whereas this one really kind of didn't. But at least neither of these two games tried to rehash that whole, use the same level twice. Although I still say you could probably get all three games on one disc. Back on the topic of Mega Man, what was the point of Star Force? Like, I played Mega Man Star Force 1 and 2. I do not understand why anyone would enjoy those games. Like, it's like if you took the Battle Network games and you made them less fun. Because you could only move in 2 dimensions, whether... Well, you could move in 2 dimensions regardless, but you could move left and right as well as change the depth, which basically completely made the strategy a lot more intense in combat. Whereas in Star Force, you could only move left and right. What is up with that? That was just lame. And then I hear that they made a crossover game, which I kind of want to play just because I'd like to see more Mega Man Battle Network. Because I like Battle Network. That was a good game. Battle Network 2, good. Battle Network 3, best one in the series. Battle Network 4, well, it had the curse of every Mega Man game with the number 4 in it being awful. Battle Network 5, also not particularly good, but they tried to add strategy game elements, which were, I'm going to be polite and say interesting. Although it did have that Boktai crossover soul mode, which was kind of neat. If you got the DS version, anyway. Battle Network 6 was, like, a return to trying to be good, but I think it went back to, like, Mega Man 1 levels of good, where it just wasn't as good as Battle Network 2, and it didn't get anywhere near as good as Battle Network 3 ever did. And then there was, like a Japan exclusive Battle Network game that came between each numbered one for whatever reason. And there was, like, Mega Man ZX, where they decided to, instead of keep the logical transformation line of Rock On, they changed it to Mega Merge, which was just cringeworthy. I like Rock On. I think that sounds awesome. But, Mega Merge. No, thank you. Also, I didn't like the fact that you could have independent X form, and you could have ZX form, but you couldn't have independent Z form. Also, you couldn't have, any of the other X-Guardian forms independent. They had to have, like, the X-Soul to merge with them, which was weird. I thought the boss mechanics in that were weird though, like how you had to like avoid attacking a certain part of the boss, which was usually like the most obvious part, or you couldn't effectively use your form afterwards. Like that was interesting. I don't think it worked out well though. And I never played the second one where you got like the Axel soul or whatever. But I never liked Axel as a character anyway. The only thing I really remember about Axel was he was voiced by the cringeworthy Gitaru Man, who I believe was also the voice of Musashi in Samurai Legend Musashi. The not quite as awesome sequel to the tremendous Brave Fencer Musashi. I gotta play that game again. That game was awesome. I'd love to review it, but I really don't want to touch anything that may have ever had the hands of Square or Enix on them, because after I tried to review Final Fantasy XIII, got like a cease and desist by Square Enix, despite the fact that I'm legally in the right to do so, because I am a journalist, and I know this because I took journalism in college. I know my legal rights. I can't afford a I can't afford a lawyer, so I basically have to follow their cease and desists, or basically I get my face suit off, and being below the poverty line, I can't afford that. But I'd love to review Brave Fencer Musashi and Bushido Blade. Those are like two of my favorite original PS1 titles. Those games are awesome. I have missiles. I should use those before I die. Come on. Missiles! I don't want to have to repeat another stage. Please don't make me repeat a stage. I really don't want to. I'm running out of things to talk about. Oh, I'm out of missiles. Crap. The nice thing about this pseudo Gundam I get to pilot is it has a lot of Vernier, and I'm dead. Thus proving my point, it doesn't have a lot of Vernier. I wonder if I'm on hard or something. I'm very quickly running out of topics to talk about. What else? I've been desperately trying to find a way to get the Gundam Versus game on PS3, 'cause it's on Japanese PSN, but it's like, if I get it on there, I have to spend like $60. If I want to import just a basic copy, I have to spend $60. I can't afford it. I'd love to, but it's not wildly likely to happen. Despite how much I'd love to, because it's Gundam Versus, and I found myself quite fond of it based on like the one game I did play in the series. Also, as I understand, that version has my boy Duo in it, so I gotta like it. Besides, it can't be any worse than like the Dynasty Warrior games we got. Of course, I say that as a person who's not really a fan of Dynasty Warriors. I picked up a game in a series I'm quite fond of without knowing too much about it, and I'll keep the title a secret, but it was basically trying to be Dynasty Warriors, except it didn't seem to understand that Dynasty Warriors has a lot of thought put into it. And I didn't realize how much, like, nuance, or how nuanced Dynasty Warriors was until I played this game, but it's like, none of the enemies attack you, like in Dynasty Warriors, but none of the bosses do either, so it's like impossible to kill yourself. So basically, all you have to do is decrease all of your defense, put it all into attack, and you basically win. And it's just a button masher with no thought. Like, I beat that game without ever watching anything. It's like, man, this game could have been something interesting, and it just was awful, and I'm glad it was on sale and I didn't have to pay much for it, but I still would have liked it to be good, because I like that series a lot. Oh, man. Oh, what else is going on? Not much. It's almost October. Although, not really much is coming out in October. There's a new Tales of game coming out in October, I believe. There's that Yoshi's Epic Yarn coming out, which I'm probably going to get. Which will be the first of 2 Wii U titles I pick up this year, the other one being Xenoblade. And I fundamentally refuse to buy Super Mario Maker. Like, Nintendo's, like, I'm just jaded at this point, but it's like Nintendo's asking us to pay for fans making Mario games, which they've been doing since Super Mario World. There's been a ton of them out there. You can buy them on cartridges, too. I'd love to get a few of them, but reproduction cartridges of stuff is expensive, typically, and there's tons of other reproduction cartridges I'd love to get first, like, chief on my list, Mr. Gimmick. Kind of thinking Tales of Fantasia. I'd love to get Wily Wars, because we never got it up in Canada. So that was a Sega Channel exclusive in North America, which I'm pretty sure only happened in America, which means we also never got Alien Soldier or Pulseman, and both of those things are awesome. But we did get those on the Wii Virtual Console, so I guess that's kind of okay. Magical Poppin' I'd love to get. There's a bunch of games I'd love to get reproductions of, but they're expensive. And that's another thing about reproductions, is you have to trust the people who make the reproductions. And a lot of the time, the people who make reproductions, they're not wildly reputable, so they'll make really crappy ass reproductions, and they'll charge you premium for it, which sucks. Which is why I tend to try and find one that's at least relatively cheap, so if they're nondescript, it's like I didn't spend too much on it, you know? Which I know is probably not how I should do things, but it's, like, if I don't trust any of them anyway, I might as well at least go cheap until I find one that I can at least trust the quality of. I wonder if these guys have that same... Ah, I died again. Damn it! Ugh. Sickness and fatigue are really starting to set in. Oh, that's something I can talk about. It's something I recently got into a couple days ago, and it's since been basically all I watch is... I just found out about Game Center CX, and I am in love with that show. That's an amazing show. Watching just some guy struggle through some really crappy games, and you just gotta cheer for him. Although I knew there was a game based off of it a long time ago, and I've been trying to get it for quite a while. Retro Game Challenge is a very hard to find game. And it costs a lot of money. Which is a shame, because it is good. That's another reproduction I want, is Bahamut Lagoon. There's a lot of RPGs and stuff that I'd like to get reproductions of, but very few of them actually do get them. Bahamut Lagoon's one I'd like to get. Treasure Hunter G's one. Treasure of Rudra, although I haven't seen anyone make a Treasure of Rudra one yet. Those are all the major RPG ones, though. Like, I already have Live Alive, which I'd love to review, but again, Square Enix, I don't want to get sued. Although I really would like to talk about it, because it is an interesting game. Although every time I bring it up, everyone seems to think it's like, no, that's Romancing Saga, or Saga Frontier, the PS1 one, but it's like, no, it's not. Like, yes, I get it. Several different characters, all who have different stories. I could understand how you'd say that's the same game, but they all take place in different time zones and different thematic and gameplay genres. That's a very interesting game. I like that, though. It's like, you play as the ninja, you play as a stealth game. That's fun. If you play as the kid who is basically a ripoff of Akira, or the kid from Akira, it's basically a standard RPG where I have no idea what the balls is going on. Also, someone who has a lot of the time on their hands, give me a basic synopsis of what the hell Akira was about. Because I've seen that movie about 20 times. I have no idea what that movie is about. Like, I remember there was a kid who was played by Johnny Young Bosch or Cam Clark, depending on what version you're listening to. And I like Cam Clark, he's my favorite voice actor, so why not try and listen to that version? And there was the other kid who, in the Johnny Young Bosch version, was played by the kid from Digimon, who, that's literally all I remember him from. Kind of like how the voice actress who played Musashi in Brave Fencer Musashi was also the kid from Digimon. And thus we're hitting recursion basically on Square Enix stuff, but... And then one of the kids ends up going insane and tries to become a god, and there's tentacles, and he's trying to find a brain in a jar that I think was in a satellite at one point or something. I don't know. What was that movie about? Seriously. I'm pretty sure that might be the most accurate synopsis of what the hell Akira might have been about I've ever heard. And that was just me rambling because I'm running out of shit to talk about. And if I die again, I'm skipping this level because screw it. I'm tired, and I should probably get back to editing something, or something, or something something. Also, space launching platform. Like, is that like a giant space ski slope in the background? Like, let's see if I can get a shot of that. Giant space ski slope right there. What is up with that? I'm very tired and possibly delusional because I've spent 3 hours out in frost-bitten, cold, snowy weather just to get shots of a moon because reasons. Actually, I hear it's like some kind of special eclipse that won't happen again in another like 50 years, so I decided to do it. But I don't know. What else has been going on in my life? Not too much. I'm dead. I'm skipping. Screw it. Screw it. And I get an eject from that crappy mission. Because I basically beat it. Except I didn't. And I'm tired. And I need to come up with whatever I want to review next. Oh, that's something I can talk about. I was, I'm just gonna hit the mic and probably have to not edit that out because I'm tired and I don't care. Been playing a Super Nintendo RPG I haven't picked up in months. If I get far enough in, maybe I'll review it, but it's kind of interesting to think that Koei, the people who are known pretty much exclusively for Dynasty Warriors now, made a bunch of historical games, and that was their bread and butter. That's what set them apart from other things, is like their Nobunaga's ambition and stuff. So the fact that they basically made Dynasty Warriors and that's what they're exclusively known for now, it's weird. Anyway, we ended up defending this space elevator or whatever, and this guy comes back to fight us. Skip. And I think this is a have-to-lose fight, so I'm going to test that theory. But yeah, now they're known exclusively basically for Dynasty Warriors. And publishing Opuna on the Wii, which, that's an RPG you gotta play. That game's awesome. Although I already reviewed that. Go watch that if you haven't. Good game. Good game. Solid. A lot of people call it, like, the new Earthbound, which, that's pretty generous, but it's definitely a different kind of RPG. Also, while on the topic of Dynasty Warriors, I don't know why so few people know this, but the game they play is not Dynasty Warriors. It is Dynasty Warriors 2. The original Dynasty Warriors was a 2-player 3D fighting game. In fact, a lot of people call it like a Soul Calibur clone. But so few people know that. And look! They actually let me die! Which happens at the end of this mission anyway, spoilers. But at least they're learning to put on their big boy pants and actually let me fail in fights with big, important enemies that outclass me. Probably because I'm playing on hard difficulty. And I just don't care anymore. But that's nice. At least they're going to let me fail. Unlike that last fight. So, that's another reason this game's better, I guess. I'm just gonna keep launching missiles. Because area of effect damage. And I'm out of missiles. That was a weird thing about the third game. That you'll see when we get there, is the third game, for the final fight, gave you a new weapon and it didn't tell you about it. It was like your best weapon. So it's weird that it never bothered to tell you about it. Haha. Aw. Crap. I was out of Vernier. I could have just kept slashing him in the back. Slash, slash, slash. Again, weird AI quirks in this game. These games are not known for their AI, I'm guessing. But, they're solid 3D fighting games, or 3D shooting games, I guess. I don't know. I think the third one's definitely the best, though. Not just because of space. I kind of like how they handled space, though. It's a little bit clumsy, and clunky, apparently, because it's clumsy. But it basically uses changing your altitude with your jump, and it's just 2 layers, which, it's very primitive, but it's still kind of impressive. I've seen it done better in other Gundam games, but still, kind of impressive. Come on, die. I'm running out of ammo and shits to give. Because I'm sick, and I'm hot, and I can't sleep. Oh, thank God we're done. And I'll leave the ending to you. I guess I'll see you next week with the conclusion of Gundam Blue Waffle, some sort of series of other small subtitles. Also, we get a small victory here because while we got decapitated, he exploded. エグザムを積んだ頭をやられちまった。データが。
ゲームには勝者と敗者を決めるためのルールがある。しかし本当の戦いにはそんなルールはない。あるのはただ一つの真実のみ。戦いが終わって生きている者が勝者で、死んでしまった者が敗者だ。エグザム同士の戦いで共にそのマシンは破壊された。しかしパイロットは
ニンバス隊、よくぞご無事で。
しかし大事なイフリートとエグザムを失ってしまった。
それですか。実は諜報部より連邦のエグザム研究所を発見者との連絡がありました。
何？
連邦のエグザムモビルスーツ1機とクルスト博士も確認されています。
ついに見つけたぞクルスト。首を洗って待っていろよ。
連邦軍のエグザム研究所を襲撃し、ブルー2号機を奪取するニムバス。残された3号機に乗り、それを追うユウ。エグザムをめぐる熾烈な戦いが繰り返される中で、やがて戦いの舞台は宇宙へと移ってゆく。次回、機動戦士ガンダムガイデン3、裁かれし者。君は青き死神と戦場をかける。